You ever worked all your life for something and have it not work out?
Dave Chappelle supposedly had it all. Fame, fortune, but in a move that shocked the world, he gave it all up.
You want something done right, I guess you gotta do it yourself.
What is going on? He could have filled up arenas.
You're hearing on the news things like he's gone crazy.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy is dismissive.
People were saying you went into a mental institution.
Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
Who the f do these people think they are?
Chappelle disappeared. He has rarely spoken about why.
Why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Everyone said I was running away from the money. That is not true. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication.
They are trying to kill me. I got scared. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was scared to death.
Was there a reason that you decided to go to Africa?
If you a black dude trying to hide, Africa is a good place.
Did your wife and children know where you're going?
No. I was gone for 12 years. My God, I was trapped.
What about my family? What about my friends?
What did you mean, Dave, when you described your father's death as the beginning of a terrible decline?
The morning that I turned 24, phone rang, and my sister was like, Dad had a stroke. For the next year, I watched my father teeter on life and death. I was there when he died, and he went from being my father to what are we gonna do with the body? Within moments, it was over. And I'm going through all this stuff, and this is the guy I would usually talk to. And I got to figure this out for myself.
Dave Chappelle had one of the most popular comedy shows in America until the unthinkable happened.
This is one sketch we did that was about this pixie that would appear whenever racist things happen. The pixie was in blackface because this was going to be the visual personification of the N-word. Somebody on the set that was white laughed in such a way. I know the difference of people laughing with me and people laughing at me. And it was the first time I'd ever gotten a laugh that I was uncomfortable with. I had a $50 million deal on the table, and in a crisis of conscience, flipped the table over and walked away. I was doing sketches that were funny, but socially irresponsible. Everyone said I was running away from the money. That is not true.
Dave realized that he was far from the man his dad wanted him to be.
There was a certain consciousness that was the backdrop of my upbringing, you know. We would have like Malcolm X pictures hanging up in our house. My dad come and talk to me, and he's like, name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of there. Thus, Africa.
Feeling like he had let his dad down, Dave ran away.
It was a place where I could really reflect. I felt really guilty about being asleep at the wheel.
No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't hide from the chaos he'd left back home.
I got a call from a journalist. Do you smoke crack? I said, what? Do you smoke crack?
People were saying, though, that you were on drugs, you lost your mind, you went into a mental institution.
The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. It was all these crazy questions, and I thought about never coming back.
Did your wife and children know where you're going?
No, which was a mistake.
Despite his fear of returning to America, Dave didn't want to abandon his family.
Did your comedy change after you had children?
Everything changed after I had children. As far as I was concerned, I was done with show business. So I got scared. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was scared to death. And I didn't touch the mic.
I watched the world go on without me.
Seeing Dave struggle, his family tried to inspire him by taking him to see Maya Angelou.
My mother and my godmother had tickets to see and I went with them. You were so incredibly engaged and poignant. You were saying things that I needed to hear.
Maya's words were so powerful that Dave had to see her again.
I think I need to talk to you.
I'm scared of you right now. I know you're gonna just crush me in a minute.
How? You're my grandson.
No, I understand.
How can I not listen to you and be elevated by you? It's important that each knows that there's a line beyond which you will not go. When lots of money is dangled before people's eyes, many times they will tell you yes when they know no. You continue to grow and you develop courage, the most important of all the virtues, because without courage you can't practice any other virtue consistently.
Maya showed Dave he was more like his dad than he thought.
I was gone for 12 years. coming back was terrifying.
I think it's just important to me now because I have kids outside of like show business. Like, man, I could build something. Oh, I could do something. With great power comes great responsibility.
When Dave returned to the spotlight, he started speaking out about issues close to his heart.
Large crowds of demonstrators in multiple cities following the death of George Floyd.
And I was shocked that nobody ever talked about what it feels like to watch a man get murdered that way by a man in a police uniform.
This man kneeled on a man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Can you imagine that? This kid thought he was gonna die. He knew he was gonna die. He called for his mother.
I got choked out by a police officer in New Orleans running from one comedy club to another and was stopped by the police for running, which is not illegal. I was late. The cop assumed I was selling drugs.
I don't mean to get heavy, but we gotta say something.
By finding the courage to speak out, Dave started using his voice to build a better tomorrow.
Sometimes you do what you think is best, whether anybody understands it or not. You gotta keep your ethics intact because good and bad is a compass that helps you find the way. And a person that only does what's better or worse is the easiest type of person to control. It's okay to be afraid because you can't be brave or courageous without fear. The idea of being courageous is that even though you're scared, you just do the right thing anyway. What you do in your lifetime informs the generations that comes after you, something that is so much bigger than just ourselves.